I'm Glenn Flickinger of 21st Century Consulting, and today I have the privilege of being with Jeff Harding of Harding Consulting Services. Jeff, we've had these conversations a lot. I really appreciate our friendship and the conversations we've had and do have. And one of them is I think you believe there's a misconception out in the industry that a high cow is a cow that's under a lot of stress and we're burning her out and we're going to call her, and so a lot quicker than herd mates. And so a cow making 120 plus pounds is under a whole lot more stress than a cow that's making 70 pounds or 50 pounds. What's your opinion on that?
Well, thanks, Glenn. So it's a great question and a great observation. And I'll go back to, I started my part of my career in dairy and selling Posilac. And a lot of people believe if we added 10 more pounds from Posilac, we were going to burn cows out. And frankly, I think we learned through those times that we don't burn cows out. We don't push cows past where they really want to be. A high-producing cow is really the healthiest cow on your farm. If you've got a cow making 150 pounds a day, life is good for her. Otherwise, she'd be making 120 or 70 or 50.
Yeah.
And part of the proof in that, Glenn, was if we went to the herds making 90 pounds of milk, those cows looked good.
Yeah.
They had slick hides, they were good condition, they were chewing their cud, they were happy cows. If you go to a herd that was making 58 pounds of milk, those cows typically were rough-haired, they were many lame cows, there were issues with a herd making 58 pounds. So I'm a believer that high production is really that cow's way of telling you that you're taking really good care of it.
Yeah, you and I both have heard Dr. Kevin Harvatine from Penn State make the comment that it's the 50 cow, the herds that are only making 50 pounds of milk are the ones that are really under stress, right, not the herds that are cranking close to 100 pounds. What do you think the difference is? What do we usually call them the good managers? What do they do so that these cows can make 100 pounds? Because I'm of the philosophy you can't force a cow to make 100 pounds unless you make her acidotic, and then you are going to kill her. But other than that, how do we do this? How do we get her to make 100 pounds and sustain it?
So Glenn, I think they're detail people. They pay attention to the little details. They do a really good job of doing a lot of little things well. And the other really critical thing is they make good forage. Good forage is the basis for healthy high production.
Yeah.
But it's cow comfort, it's ventilation, it's schedule, it's consistency, continuity, and comfort. 3 C's. Consistency, everything the same every day, do it every day the same, and make those cows comfortable. And if we do those things really well, we're going to be successful managing cows.
You bring up a really good point. One of them is good quality forages. The guys that get milk consistently, and even today in Pennsylvania, it's hotter than blue blazes, and we got guys that are making close to 90 pounds of milk, and they do the 3 things that you talk about. They have cow comfort, they have incredibly good forages, and they're consistent all the time.
Right.
And I agree with that 100%. Any parting thoughts that you would say if someone's watching this and they're at 70, 80 pounds and they'd like to go to the next step? What are some of the suggestions that you would give to them?
So, fair question, Glenn. So, kind of big picture is learn how to do that. Ask your peers, challenge your nutritionist, challenge your veterinarian to help you get there. What are the things that you could do in your operation? Ask him, and then be willing to do those things. All right. So it's great to ask, but you got to be willing to make the move. If we tell a guy we need to have 2 groups of dry cows, get 2 groups of dry cows.
Yeah.
If that's what it's going to take. So I think you ask questions. I think you'd be willing to invest where it needs to be invested. I think you have to make a commitment to doing that. You got to make a commitment to excellence. We're going to have very successful dairymen coming out of this COVID situation. This dairy industry is tough. It's a challenge. But we'll have good, successful dairymen, but they're committed, they're professional, and they're going to be tough competition. If you kind of either got to get in or get out, and if you want to get in, play with the big boys, commit yourself to doing it and make it happen.
So one last question, Jeff, and that is, we have this illusion in our industry that you have to be big to be good. How would you comment on that?
So, big can cover up some things. So big is great. To be really honest, you've got to be better to be a small dairyman and be successful than you do a big dairyman to be successful. So you can do it being relatively small, but you're going to have to be good. You cannot afford to make little mistakes. You've got to do a lot of things really, really well.
Yeah. I get upset. I listen to the people in the industry and they talk about how you can't be little, and yet we see some incredibly good cowmen in what we would call smaller sized dairies, and I think they are as competitive as the big one. You and I have seen the big ones, and wow, they're not all good.
No, but the ones that are good are really
good. Yeah. So I would agree. Hey, Jeff, thank you for your time. Thank you for your insight. And it's a real privilege that you would give me this time and talk with me.
Likewise.
I'm with Jeff Harding of Harding Consulting Services, and I'm Glenn Flick here from 21st Century Consulting, and that's our opinion.